Do you ever just play a video game and think to yourself, this is not for me? Like, you know, the product is quality and accept that other people can derive great joy from it, but you just can't for some reason or another? Well, that's basically exactly what I experienced with Dora the Explorer Saves the Snow Princess. Yeah. For the Wii, I'm holding the PS2 version because that's the version I own a physical copy of, but I didn't have a capture card, so I did some questionable stuff. Why am I clarifying that it is the Wii version? Well, there are different ports. Just want to make sure PS2 and Wii are basically the same. So remember when I said this game was not for me? Well, that's because this is a children's game for babies, and I'm an adult. Technically. Sorta. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, wanyay, you actual baboon, you moron of a chief, you are a person that has control over your own actions. You don't have to. Well. Looks like it's my turn to send a barrage of monkey-based insults your way. You see, I am not a normal person. I suffer from a condition that greatly impacts my rational decision-making. It's called being a Twitch streamer. Ever heard of channel points? It's basically a currency you collect by watching my streams. Or any stream for that matter. These points can then be used to spend on rewards set up by the streamer. Imagine being oblivious enough to think no one would ever redeem a channel point reward worth 50,000 channel points. A channel point reward that would not only force me to completely beat a video game, but also force me to make a 10-minute video essay about it.
Oh, that explains the insane amount of filler that you've been force-feeding us.
Yes, viewer, you are correct. I've been trying to pad out this video as much as I can. Alright, please bear with me a little longer, because there's one last bit of context left. Allow me to introduce you to one of my mods, the illustrious AGG. For some reason, when I initially proposed the idea of channel point reward to my Twitch chat, I said this.
I was thinking of making a channel point reward where I would play like a full game that someone recommends and then make a video essay, like forced to make a video essay about it. How man videos? Many? You're thinking of like a series of like 4 episodes. This is part 1 of my breakdown of Dora the Explorer goes to the frozen city.
AGG, who was in the chat at the time, decided to commit to this bit where he would be the chosen one, the one who would spend hours of his time chatting and lurking, collecting 50,000 channel points and doing the unthinkable. That's why I'm here. Because of this guy's warped sense of comedy that most people would probably call sadism. /J or whatever. I never use tone indicators. Cool. Now that that's done, we can finally get into the actual review part. Truth be told, this is a 3rd iteration of this video script. This is because, in all honesty, there's not much to talk about. This game is an adequate children's game that translates what a Dora episode is into a game like very well. They chose a visual style that aged phenomenally well. Jesus Christ. Phenomenally. They chose a visual style that aged amazingly well, using 3D models for the characters and 2D sprite work for the facial animations. Honestly, I could go ahead and show you many examples of 2D characters transitioning into 3D that do not look so good, but the gist usually boils down to overcomplicating things. This game also has great music. Like, this shit's grooving harder than it has the right to. Actual Bob. These 2 factors, plus the fact that it controls decently well, are, for me at least, already reasons enough to say that this is a pretty good game for a licensed game.
What type of game is this anyway?
Wow, what an astute observation from the crowd. I have indeed not yet mentioned what type of game this is, let alone describe the insane lore. Excuse me for my wrongdoings, I will start straight away. So, Dora Saves the Snow Princess is a 2.5D platformer collectathon and also vehicle game. So yeah, I put that in quotation marks because in theory you can beat the game without like actively collecting a single item. You can literally just walk to the right without a care in the world and beat the game in about 2 to 3 hours. If you're a cool speedrunner like me, you can beat the game in under an hour and get 3rd place on the leaderboard, but that's beside the point, especially considering that there is a run on the leaderboard that is not only improperly categorized, it also lists youtube.com as its speedrun video source. The game works this way because, you know, you gotta make sure that anybody can pick up the game and start playing without any issues. The main demographic are children, of course. There's two types of items you can collect: snow crystals and story-related items. Like, for example, mugs of chocolate milk or penguins.
Chicken.
When collecting them, a bar fills up. When filling up the crystal bar, you get a special crystal. And for the story-related items, honestly, I did not check this. Let me... Oh, okay, cool. Back when I first played this game, I was not aware of this and actually tried filling up these bars. Pretty fun. However, my brain was not fully developed yet, and now that it has to some degree, something instantly started bothering me. So to get the snow crystals and the story-related items, you need to perform little actions like raising a flag or sweeping the floor. Exciting, huh? Thing is, not only are the perceived actions painfully bland, the controller input really lifts these to a whole new level of nothingness. So it's a little bit different in the PS2 version, where you have to sort of do actions that differ per task with the analog sticks. But for the Wii version, if it's not pressing a button, it'll just boil down to simply shaking the controller. Now, if you played the game, you might be thinking, huh?
But there are actions that definitely ask for different types of movement, right?
Well, that would be the case if the Wii controller actually registered different types of movement. As far as I'm aware, when it comes to shaking the controller, it's more or less binary. Either you shake or you don't. Obviously, I cannot just throw out statements like these without offering some sort of proof. So here's footage of me getting 5 stars in Just Dance by just shaking the Wii controller.
Alright, here we go. So, the key to this is basically just shaking in time with the music. Like, I am not matching anything on screen right now, and I'm getting perfects. That's because... Oh god, that's not good. That's because this thing can... Oh god, this thing cannot really detect motion well. I mean, look at what I'm doing. So, I think regardless of whether you're actually, like, matching the dance moves or not, this is very exhausting. My arm is hurting a lot. There's a reason you're not supposed to do this. This is all for science though, so I'm willing to take this sacrifice. And all the other boys try to change. We're almost there, guys. For you came into my life, I miss you so bad. I miss you so bad. There we go. Come on. One more. Yes! Yes! I told you! Oh my god!
Anyway, it doesn't matter what happens in the minigames, it's just shaking or pressing a single button. I know this is a children's game, but are kids really stupid enough not to realize? Are they only motivated by the Pavlovian response of seeing Dora?
Hola bitches, I'm Dora. This is my motherfucking monkey.
Does the simple act of moving Dora left, right, up and down activate their neurons? Wait, hold on. Am I talking about the same age group that watches this shit? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I'm talking about the same age group that watches this shit. So yeah, it probably does. Usually after beating a level, you're greeted with a vehicle section? Not sure what to call it. It's kind of like Subway servers, but it's not endless, and none of the hazards actually kill you. There's even parts where you're like, epic lumao, and we'll just sail straight through this rapid without any consequences. Speaking of consequences, you can literally not fail in this game. You cannot fail by falling off an edge, missing a rope swim. It will just literally teleport you forwards. Same counts for clouds and floating plots of ice. Any mistake will only literally cost you one thing: time. The closest thing to fucking up in this game is not jumping over a little piece of ice on the ground. Although it looks like Dora just suffered what I, a trained medical professional, would call severe trauma to the head, she just stands up like nothing happened and continues on her journey. listen, this will never be not funny. So at least there's a silver lining. There are a couple of different modes of transport Dora can partake in with minor differences in controls and level design. Some even require a little bit of setup, like the boat where you have to either shoo away a dragon or hoist a sail, which is also controlled by, let's hear it, shaking. Outside of that, there's parts where you speak to a backpack in the map. If this wasn't a Dora game, I would probably go on a rant about this being a part of the game that sucks since it gets repeated over and over without any changes. Yeah, this is integral to the Dora experience, so I won't be. However, it does show up a lot and it's repetitive as hell. Kind of makes me want to scratch my eyes out and roast them above a fire like a little marshmallow. But yeah, as I said, I won't go too hard. Alright, last part of the review. We're talking story now. So this game is basically based on an actual Dora episode which first aired on, let me check. No, that can't be true. My 7th birthday. Things seemed to be so much simpler back then. No war, no pandemics, no ever-looming fear of everything suddenly collapsing beneath me. Why? Why? Why must I be reminded of my own mortality everywhere I look? I mean, are you kidding me? Dora the Explorer? Is this some kind of joke? It's kind of ironic. I used to watch Dora to pass the time, and now Dora is reminding me of all the time past.
Hola, soy Dora.
Dora? What are you doing here? Are you here to help me? Yeah, you must be. It seems like you always know what to do. Help me, please. I need to get in control. I want to know where to go. Maybe your map has the directions.
That's not that simple.
Huh?
Simply showing the way will only be a temporary solution.
Only a temporary solution.
Yes, you need to learn how to be in control yourself. Otherwise, you will be back to your old habits as soon as you're gone. Besides, by the looks of it, you already own a map.
You mean this one? But I don't understand what it means.
Let's look a little closer.
Wait, it all makes sense now. All I need to do is find fulfillment. It might take me a little while. It might take me 1,000,000 steps. But as long as I try to get something working, then maybe there's still hope. Thanks, Dora. Thanks for showing me the way. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, the story more or less follows the same story beats as the episode. However, if you would ask me to back this up, I will probably have a hard time. This is because I can't be fucking asked to watch a Dora episode in 2022. So let's just assume I'm right for the sake of this video, okay? So, what's the deal with this Snow Princess I failed to mention a single time? Well, the Snow Princess is just kind of being chill, making sure winter starts and ends. And then one day, this witch shows up with an unquenchable thirst for mischief, up to no good, who decides to curse the Snow Princess. The curse took away the princess's ability to smile, which then resulted in the winter never ending, so Dora had decided to fix this, cause who else is gonna do it? Kind of a cookie cutter story, but it's a Dora game. Only an insane person would go in expecting a fucking Quentin Tarantino story. So Dora then basically does a whole bunch of bullshit until she reaches the castle, takes the princess' place for a bit, does some funny shaking, and boom, shit solved. Alright, this is the part of the video where I take a step back, look at what I've done, and apologize. You see, I said there are no stakes in this game whatsoever. I might have even implied that the game is not challenging at all. Well, there is a challenging part in this game. Yeah. It's called 100% and it's fucked up. Alright. 100%ing Dora the Explorer Save the Snow Princess is a lot more difficult than you would probably think it is. Remember the collectibles I talked about? Like the crystals and the one that are level specific? When you collect a certain amount of them, you will get a funny little badge on the map. This map can only be viewed after you beat the game, but that's not necessarily what makes this challenging. You see, there are some progress bars on the screen, one for the crystals, one for the other things, which will fill up and do a little thing. It's kind of like one of those MMOs. The part that makes this challenging is that to make sure that even a small baby child can fill the progress bar up, there are more collectibles than necessary to fill the progress bar up, if you know what I'm saying. So if you want to go for every single collectible, that means there is no way of telling you've got every single collectible. So to make sure that you actually are doing a true proper 100% run, you'd have to scout out every inch of every single level. Now let's think about routing for a second. This game is constructed in a way where backtracking is always kind of necessary. There's just paths that lead to nothing, but there are like things you can do there. So there will always be some sort of backtracking involved. This is, of course, excluding the backtracking caused by human error. There are several parts in this game where it gets surprisingly hard to collect the crystals, like snowboarding, like the fucking the thing that goes up the mountain when you go skiing. There are just sections that are very hard for some reason. Also, there's a lot of crystals in this game. Like the normal, like regional or like level specific collectibles are fine, but the crystals, I mean, I understand why there are so many. Like it's very fucking satisfying to pick them up, almost like I'm playing a Lego game or like a Sonic game. But there's just so many, dude. What the fuck? Then and that's not even it. Imagine this, right? You're playing the vehicle section and you are gaming out of your mind, trying to do this like swiftly, which if you're gonna do the 100% thing, if you're gonna be spending all that time, I recommend not doing that. Very stupid. Go slow, because the chance of missing a single vehicle token, which have I mentioned this? If I haven't, yeah, they're vehicle tokens you have to collect, and if you get all of them, you get a gold medal. If you aren't careful enough, you will miss it.
Miss.
Like, you might be like, yeah, but I'm not a child, I'm a professional gamer. I spent 12 hours a day grinding the game. But even a person with fully developed motor skills and razor-sharp reflexes is sort of destined to like at least get super duper close. Like, check this shit, man. What the fuck is going on here? Thing is, it should be fine because you can kind of just go back, but like that doesn't help. Like, these sections are just hard for some reason. Anyway, there's also parts in the platforming sections that just sort of barricade off like the previous part of the level. So if you like go past these parts, then you gotta make 100% sure you collect everything. And okay, let's call these transition parts, right? Like the one where you drive the fucking unicorn character. There are crystals in these as well. If you miss one, you have to play the entire level over again. And since the game doesn't really like keep track of if you've collected everything, it only does the bar thing. To make sure you get everything, you kind of have to collect everything again. Every level has to be played perfectly. Every level has to be played perfectly. I was gonna say at least once. Every level has to be played perfectly. Okay, let's say hypothetically, you've collected everything. What happens next? Well, I'm sorry to inform you, viewer, but absolutely fucking nothing. You don't get a cool message telling you that Dora didn't leave a single stone unturned, and you just kind of have to trust that you were really absolutely thorough. You will never really be sure. There is no way to confirm or deny you collected everything. There might as well still be one of these trees that you didn't climb into with boots and collect the thing. You might have missed something. This is like real life, kinda. This is like how in real life nothing is certain either. Sometimes you gotta trust yourself and others. So yeah, the Dora speedrun leaderboard has a category called All Collectibles, but as of right now, nobody has even attempted it. Like, there's just no runs. This is obviously because everybody who has played the game for long enough knows that this undertaking is akin to those ventured by the heroes from the great Greek tragedies. I bet you have to be really stupid to even consider doing it, right? Right? Nobody would do it for a fleeting moment of internet relevancy, right? Such person would have to know no shame. Would not possess a single morsel of self-respect. 50 likes. Yeah, 50 likes and I'll do it. I am that person.